What if I told you the gun you carry today might not be legal next year? Or worse, discontinued, out of stock, wiped from the shelves without warning. In 2026, entire arsenals are being retired, not because they failed, but because the world's moving too fast to keep them alive. New rules, new tech, new enemies of the Second Amendment are closing in. And these guns, they're the first to go. This is the Gun Warehouse, and today we're counting down 10 guns that are quietly disappearing, and nobody's talking about it. Some were once top sellers, others broke the mold, and a few are about to become collector gold. If you've got one in your safe, hold on tight. If not, pay close attention. Number 10, Bushmaster XM15-E2S. Bushmaster was once a name you couldn't walk into a gun store without hearing. Their XM15 rifles were everywhere, filling range bags, packed in patrol cars, dominating the AR-15 shelf with confidence. But in 2026, the Bushmaster XM15-E2S is a ghost of what it used to be, and the market's already acting like it doesn't exist. After the Remington collapse in 2022 dragged Bushmaster down with it, the brand was sold off and relaunched in 2021 under Crotalis Holdings. New factory, new leadership, same rifles. They brought back the XM15, teased updated versions, and even revived the ACR in limited batches. But that spark, it never caught. Sales figures dropped off a cliff. Dealers struggled to move units even with markdowns, and now the once ubiquitous XM15-E2S is barely hanging on. The problem isn't that it's a bad rifle, it's that it's the same rifle it was 15 years ago. Fixed front sights, heavy profile barrels, mil-spec triggers, all locked into a configuration that hasn't evolved with the market. In an era where buyers want ambi controls, flat top uppers, M-lock rails, and drop-in triggers, Bushmaster is still pushing 2009. And the competition? Savage, S&W, PSA, they're all offering more gun for less money. Even worse, the brand name still carries baggage. Lawsuits, recalls, political controversy have dogged Bushmaster's public image, and while a small core of loyalists still defend it, the broader market has moved on. If the numbers keep dropping with no signs of recovery, 2026 might be the last year you ever see the XM15-E2S on a gun rack. Number 9, Remington 870 Express. There was a time when the Remington 870 Express was the default answer for anyone asking, what's a good first shotgun? It was affordable, rugged, and proven across generations. But in 2026, this once legendary pump action is slowly fading into obscurity. You see, after Remington's back-to-back bankruptcies in the late 2010s, the shotgun's production was handed over to Rim Arms, who vowed to revive the brand and restore the legacy. At first, the headlines were optimistic. New factory in Georgia, expanded output, and promises of better QC. But the reality has been a mix of missed expectations and nostalgia-fueled disappointment. Modern 870s have faced quality issues, ranging from rough action bars and misaligned parts to poorly finished receivers and extraction failures. In online forums, older 870 owners now warn newcomers to only buy pre-2007 models. That's not a good sign for a product that once defined reliability. And with Mossberg dominating the pump market, Turkish imports, undercutting on price, and semi-auto shotguns becoming the new go-to for budget-conscious shooters, the 870 Express finds itself stuck. It's no longer the budget king, nor the heirloom workhorse. If Rim's Arms doesn't deliver a serious update, not just improved finish, but real innovation, 2026 could be the year the 870 Express quietly exits the scene. Number 8, Bushmaster ACR. The Bushmaster ACR was supposed to be the future, originally designed by Magpul as the Masada rifle. The adoptive combat rifle promised a modular piston-driven platform that could adapt to any mission. When Bushmaster acquired the design and brought it to the market in 2010, the hype was unreal. Quick-change barrels, caliber conversions, ambidextrous everything. It looked like a sci-fi rifle that somehow slipped into civilian hands. But then reality hit. The initial release came with a steep price tag hovering around $2,500. The promised conversion kits, they were delayed, expensive, or never came at all. What buyers got was a rifle that felt incomplete and overpriced. To make matters worse, Bushmaster released the ACR during a time when AR-15s were getting cheaper, better, and more customizable. After Remington's collapse, Bushmaster relaunched in 2021 and teased a comeback for the ACR. But instead of reinventing the rifle or addressing its past failures, they simply reissued the same platform with the same limitations. It's still heavy, still lacking caliber support, and still overpriced compared to modern competitors. Enthusiasts hope for redemption, but instead the ACR remains a half-finished dream. And unless Bushmaster does something drastic, this rifle will fade into history as one of the most hyped and most wasted opportunities in American firearms. Number 7, Bushmaster 450 rifles. Once hailed as a powerhouse for big game and brush country, the Bushmaster 450 carved out a loyal fan base looking for something with more punch than your average AR. Chambered in the thumping 450 BM cartridge, these rifles were marketed as perfect fusion of AR ergonomics and stopping power, capable of taking down hogs, deer, and even bear inside 200 yards. For years, they were the go-to option for states with straight-wall cartridge laws. But by 2025, the story started to shift, and not in Bushmaster's favor. Ammo prices have skyrocketed. Finding 450 Bushmaster on shelves is becoming a challenge, and when you do, expect to pay 2 to 3 times more than the basic 223 or 308. For many shooters, that alone makes it hard to justify range time, let alone hunting trips. Then there's the platform itself. While the 450 upper can be slapped on a standard AR lower, the recoil, weight, and limited magazine capacity, typically 5 to 7 rounds, leave many wondering if the trade-off is worth it. Newer options, including modern lever guns and lighter bolt actions, now offer the same power, with more flexibility and fewer headaches. And with Bushmaster's inconsistent production and lackluster support for parts or upgrades, owners are starting to get nervous. Will replacement barrels still be around in 2 years? Will the brand even be here? The writing's on the wall. Unless something changes fast, the 450 Bushmaster rifles might not just become rare, they'll become extinct. Number 6, Remington Model 700. For decades, the Remington Model 700 was the rifle. Military snipers, hunters, long-range competitors all swore by its accuracy, reliability, and time-tested bolt-action design. It was the rifle you handed down, the one you trusted in the deer stand, and the one that showed up on every list of must-own American guns. But in 2026, that legacy is under serious threat. After Remington's bankruptcy and the brand's breakup, the Model 700 passed into the hands of Rem Arms, and while production continued, something got lost along the way. Complaints of inconsistent quality control, rough bolts, and wandering point of impact have slowly chipped away at consumer confidence. The phrase, "not your grandfather's 700," has become more of a warning than a selling point. Meanwhile, the bolt-action market has exploded with competition. Ruger's American Series, Tikka's Ultra Smooth Actions, and even budget Savage rifles now offer sub-MOA performance out of the box, often at lower prices with better triggers. The 700 still has name recognition, but it's no longer the default pick for a first bolt gun or a precision build. And it's not that the 700 is bad, it's just that nobody talks about it anymore. And if Rim Arms doesn't overhaul both the build quality and the reputation, the Model 700 could quietly slip into obsolescence. For a rifle that once ruled the shooting world, that's a fall nobody saw coming. Number 5, Kimber R7 Mako. Kimber's R7 Mako came out swinging in 2021, aiming straight at the concealed carry crowd with a subcompact pistol that offered big gun features in a small frame. It had optics-ready cut standard, a 3.37-inch barrel, 11+1 or 13+1 capacity, and came equipped with a flat-face trigger that's surprisingly crisp for its size. It was Kimber's first serious entry into the striker-fired market, and on paper it checked every box. But in 2026, the R7 Mako is on the edge of extinction. Why? 2 reasons. First, it entered the market already dominated by heavy hitters like SIG P365, Springfield Hellcat, and Glock 43X. Those guns had the trust, the accessories, and the aftermarket support. The Mako never fully broke through. Second was Kimber's reputation for spotty quality control in recent years. While some Mako owners raved about its performance, others reported feeding issues, optic plate looseness, and strange wear patterns. For a gun that was supposed to be a carry companion, that inconsistency killed momentum. Add the fact that Kimber's dealer network has shrunk and the company itself has gone quiet on updates and improvements, and you've got a pistol that feels like it was abandoned before it had a chance to mature. In a category where trust is everything, the R7 Mako may not survive another year of silence. Number 4, Taurus GX4. The Taurus GX4 made headlines when it launched in 2021 as the company's first real shot at the micro-compact 9mm crown. With a 3.06-inch barrel, 11+1 capacity, and sub-$400 price tag, it promised Glock 43X performance at half the cost. And for a while, it worked. Shooters on a budget jumped at the chance to carry something sleek, affordable, and optics-ready. But in 2026, the GX4 is slowly vanishing from the conversation and from gun store shelves. The biggest problem? Competition caught up fast. The SIG P365 family expanded. The Hellcat Pro gained traction, and even Taurus's own TX22 started stealing the spotlight. Meanwhile, GX4 sales slumped, and Taurus made only minor updates rather than building out a full product line around it. There were also early hiccups, reports of striker drag, light primer strikes, and occasionally feeding issues popped up in forums and reviews. For a company trying to shake off a reputation for budget bloat, the GX4 needed to be perfect, and it wasn't. Taurus hasn't officially discontinued it, but new inventory is drying up in some regions and major retailers are shifting focus to other Taurus lines. If 2026 doesn't bring a GX4 Pro or a serious refresh, this once promising carry gun may quietly fade into clearance bins and forgotten drawers. Number 3, Taurus TX22. When Taurus released the TX22 in 2019, it was a surprise hit, a .22 long rifle semi-automatic pistol that actually worked well out of the box, with a 16-round magazine, adjustable rear sights, threaded barrel, and a trigger that reviewers couldn't stop praising. The TX22 gave rimfire fans a serious alternative to Ruger and Smith & Wesson. But now, in 2026, the TX22 might be heading toward early retirement. Here's why. The rimfire market is shifting again. Newer entries like FN502 Tactical, Ruger's updated Mark IV variants, and even budget-friendly offerings from Stoker and Walther are stepping up the game. And while the TX22 was a great value when it launched, Its plastic feel and lack of significant updates are now starting to show their age. Then there's Taurus's problem with lineup bloat. Instead of refining the TX22, they released niche variants, competition models, optics-ready versions, and tactical packages that didn't always fix core issues. Trigger reset complaints, picky ammo reliability, and weak aftermarket support have cooled excitement. Most telling, training schools and instructors who once recommended it as a cheap training pistol are now moving on to more robust options. And even among .22 fans, it's becoming that pistol you used to recommend rather than a current go-to. Unless Taurus invests in a next-gen TX23 or gives this platform a serious overhaul, the TX22 could disappear from shelves without anyone noticing. And that's a shame, because when it dropped, it really did change the game. Number 2, Kimber 1911s. For a long time, saying, "I carry a Kimber," was enough to raise eyebrows at the range. Their 1911 pistols were known for clean lines, custom shop looks, and that oh-so-satisfying slide-to-frame fit. Kimber carved out a reputation as the premium production 1911 maker, offering dozens of models in 45 ACP, 10mm, and even 380. But in 2026, even these American classics are feeling the pressure. The issue? The 1911 market got crowded fast. Between Dan Wesson, Springfield Armory, Colt, and the endless wave of custom shops and boutique brands, Kimber's once unique place in the market is getting squeezed. Shooters with money to spend are opting for hand-fit models. Shooters on a budget are going for Turkish-made 1911s that cost half as much and shoot nearly as well. Kimber is now stuck in the middle, too pricey for bargain hunters, too generic for the purists. Then there's the quality control conversation. Over the past decade, Kimber's been dogged by mixed reviews, inconsistent tolerances, extractor tune-in issues, and finicky break-in periods. The kind of quirks that used to be tolerated on old-school guns are now deal-breakers in a new world where out-of-the-box performance is expected. Combine that with the fact that concealed carry laws are pushing shooters toward striker-fired compacts, and it's clear the full-size 1911, especially at Kimber's price point, is slipping from the spotlight. Unless Kimber reinvents its 1911 line with a modern twist or reclaims quality dominance, 2026 might be the year it stops being the default premium 911. Number 1, Remington 870 FieldMaster. Rounding out this countdown is a shotgun that was supposed to bring back the glory days. The Remington 870 FieldMaster was launched as the spiritual successor to the legendary 870 Express, promising better finishes, smoother actions, and a return to form after the Remington bankruptcy fallout. It was Remarm's olive branch to loyal Remington fans. But in 2026, even this upgraded classic is slipping through the cracks. The FieldMaster was meant to fix what the Express broke: rough machining, poor tolerances, and a reputation in decline. And to its credit, it did improve in some areas. The wood looked better. The bluing was cleaner, and it didn't feel like a budget afterthought. But the market had already moved on. Mossberg never left. Turkish pumps filled the shelves, and semi-auto shotguns, once considered a luxury, are now cheaper and more reliable than ever. The FieldMaster found itself stuck, not cheap enough for first-time buyers, not innovative enough to lure back seasoned shooters. On top of that, Remarm still hasn't won back full trust. With limited distribution and production hiccups, many shooters report difficulty even finding a FieldMaster locally, and those who do, they're often comparing it to used Wingmasters or older Express models and choosing those instead. If FieldMaster fades out in 2026, it won't be because it failed. It'll be because it was too late. The pump shotgun evolved, and this time Remington didn't lead the charge. That wraps up our countdown of the 10 guns that could vanish before anyone sees it coming. Some are still in circulation, while others are already ghosts, with collectors quietly grabbing them before they're gone for good. But spotting which guns to hold on to isn't about nostalgia. It's about knowing what's about to disappear and why. Subscribe to the Gun Warehouse for more intel on the firearms you'll want to save before the market shuts the door. Stay sharp.